Good morning to the media and those streaming online. I'll be speaking on the experience coming from a municipal corporation controlled by the Jamaica Labour Party mayor, and not just Clarendon, but other municipal corporations with similar operations. My previous speakers would have touched on the Poroka Revenue Fund. I will not delve too deeply in it, but just to say that of the $32 million received on average per month at Clarendon, after the expenditure in terms of administrative fee, the 20% for special grant revenue, we are left with $13.5 million. And that $13.5 million, we have what is called a partner draw, and it's divided amongst 3 divisions, and each would receive something like $4.5 million to carry out road rehabilitation or infrastructure works within the division. And I think a similar thing would exist in other municipal corporations. But let me go a bit further. That money is what we get not only from Poroka Revenue Fund, but sometimes we have to touch on what is called own source revenue. Previously, we would have experienced torrential rainfall, tropical storm, Hurricane Beryl and Melissa. It would have impacted on our road infrastructure, our infrastructure in our different parishes. We would have asked to submit estimates upon estimates, which we did. To date, we have not received 1 red cent as special funding to respond to these devastation being experienced in terms of road destruction. And it has been going on for years upon years. And we are saying to the Minister of Local Government, why have you refused to send money to us? Knowing, in fact, that there is an equalization fund set aside where 10% from property tax is put into an equalization fund that assists municipal corporations for special projects. To date, not one municipal corporation can say they have been receiving money from that fund regularly. And we want to know why. We realize that the equalization fund, which is part of property tax and motor vehicle license fee, is used by the minister's discretion only. But according to the laws, it states that the minister must have discussion with the chairman of the municipal corporation as it relates to how that fund is being expended. That is not been happening. At a JLP meeting, I heard Minister Mackenzie mention that property tax is used to pay salary. The last time I checked the 3 strategic laws, it states that property tax is to deal with infrastructure, garbage collection, and community spaces. So I think he has breached the laws that governs local government by using property tax to pay salaries. There is and still is a challenge as it relates to the Special Grant Repair Fund. When I became councillor then, there wasn't really any restriction. The superintendent, now CEO, used to say to council, we have some emergencies and we decide how we're going to deal with those emergencies. Under the People's National Party administration with the then Minister, Noel Arscott, he asked councils to set aside 10% for special grant revenue in case of emergencies, which we all comply. But this administration under Desmond Mackenzie insists that 20% be put aside, and he is the only one who guarantees how it is being spent. We have seen situation in St. Anne, where Councillor Bell had a situation of minor water supply system, and he couldn't get money to correct it, where the frogs were living in the minor water catchment, and he couldn't get funds to deal with it from the Special Grant Revenue Fund. This is a truth reality being experienced not only by the PNP-controlled municipal corporation, but also those under the Jamaica Labour Party controlled. Minister Mackenzie mentioned of some 20 revenue streams, and the last time I checked, I get 13. And work with me now. Market fees, parks, transportation centers, places of amusement, cemeteries, home burial, barbers, hairdressers, butchers, trade license, building plan, subdivision, and rental of properties. But there are some which is a one-time payment. For example, barbers and hairdressers, butchers, one-time payment for those entities. And the money is a meager sum of $3,500 for barbers and hairdressers, and I think $5,000 for butchers annually, one-time payment. We have been having issues with places of amusement because the police is of the view that they have the last say in approval of permits. The last time I checked again, It is the municipal corporation who has that authority to give an approval. All that is needed from the JCF is commenting or comments on these applications, and we give the approval if the event should be held or not. I highlighted that particular revenue stream because in Clarendon, it is one of our main revenue streams in Clarendon. And since the police now have been regulated in terms of approval and closure of entertainment zone, it has impacted on the municipal corporation. Some time ago, Minister Mackenzie would have set up what is called water shop, not only in Clarendon but other places. And these water shops were funded or is funded by the municipal corporation own source revenue. No additional funds from Minister Mackenzie for these water shops. And again, I see where Minister Tufton, Health and Wellness, makes some announcement to remove persons from the hospital to the and those are borne by us, the local authorities. And these are money which we have to find every month to take off these social cases, for additional staff, for medication, and for food, and also funds that spend to retrofit and to renovate some buildings. Those funds have not yet received by the municipal corporation. We mentioned about unspent money from Hurricane Beryl, and Clarendon would have been impacted. And the sum that has left unspent is $158.8 million sit there idly, while people in Clarendon are still suffering from the experience of Hurricane Beryl. Yet still, we are here talking about they are sending money, some $600 to $700 million each month to local authorities. And when you do the maths, Ms. Natalie Nita Garvey would have outlined the different allocations. You at home, get your pen and your calculator, and you do the maths, and tell us if you get $600 to $700 million per month for the municipal corporations. I just want to use, again, to say to persons that salaries, utilities, drop-in center, infirmary are the highest recurring expenditures for the municipal corporation. And those money comes from own source revenue. I have listed them all to you, and you can be able to check with your different municipal corporation, and they will give you the details of the breakdown. And if you attend those town hall meetings where they present the budget to you, you will get a better understanding of, as it relates to how we operate. Let me close by using a very popular phrase from a talk show media. This is where the truth comes to live and lies comes to die. Thank you.
Good morning, media. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, Minister. Or, well, I call the Minister, MP Natalie Hedley, Nita Garvey, sorry. I want to touch on one thing that was said earlier, and then I want to touch on a comment that was made by MP ROADA CRAFORD. On minor water supplies, the minister went about, and in Manchester, he has put about 4 water shops. Those water shops cost us about $12 million on a monthly basis. Those were put up in areas where there should be no NWC water. We have to buy the water from the NWC. We have to chuck it to the people. We have to pay people to watch what is happening there. And to date, the minister has not increased the budget for minor water supply. He can check the facts. He's going to come with something else. But one thing I am not afraid of is that to tell people you must not be intellectual dishonest. Tell the people the truth. The truth, nothing helps but the truth. MP Crawford at a meeting on Sunday referenced 2 matters. One that she has suffered based on a comment that somebody had said. And it has been happening a long time at the Manchester Municipal Corporation. But let me state categorically, the Manchester Municipal Corporation, or no corporation that I know, play no tricks with anybody money. We don't play no tricks with people money. I can tell you when the MP says that she has to stop sending money to us, I will tell you what happened, because it is the truth. The MP got a Christmas allocation. She went about herself and gave out the works. Asked my technical persons to pay the bill. And I told them it could not happen. Our reference must be from the technical persons. We are not rubber stamping. We believe in accountability, responsibility, and integrity at the Manchester Municipal Corporation. No MP can instruct the Manchester Municipal Corporation. She spoke about when a former councillor died and that I was hogging up the money. The law is the law. I had consultation with her. She sent me some information, and I worked with the information. But when she began to politicize what was happening, then I had to take a break. The people didn't just vote, or the residents in the community, they are not just labor rights. They are PMP and labor rights. And so I want to say to her, tell the people the truth. Don't cover it. Because Manchester people, central Manchester people, are looking for the truth. She talked about roads. She named a few. We just did some work on Ward Avenue. She is in charge of the road that leads from Main Street down at Bird's gas station to the town center. Tell her to go and look at it. When you talk about Perth Road, you look at Perth Road in Mandeville and tell me if the MP is doing any work. I mean, you can talk as you like, but the people will look on to see what is happening. Look at the Winston Jones Highway and the bush that is there. I can't even call it whatever, but it is bush. She has not done any work on those, but she gets up to speak about other things that don't come to her. I'm asking her to be, she's a teacher, tell the people the truth. She's the Minister of Education, don't misinform the people, because the people will hold you accountable for the things you have said to them. Overall, I want to say the Manchester Municipal Corporation does not use any tactics at all in delaying any money or payments or works or project for any MP whatsoever made by whoever are not the views of the Manchester Municipal Corporation. And I state that categorically. I have made sure that I have said to my senior members of Parliament must be brought to the CDF's work. And so we have been doing that. The Member of Parliament must tell you the truth, that she tried to circumvent the system and had to straighten it out. Enjoy the rest of the morning.
Well, there you have it. We have laid out for you what is truthful about the operations of the local government, municipal corporations across the island. Now we open for questions. If you're in the room and you have a question, speakers here today, including members who did not speak but are present for questions, please indicate so by raising your hand and a microphone will be taken to you. When you get the microphone, please say your name and the media house you represent. If you are online and you have a question, you have two options. You can indicate by using the raised hand icon. We will unmute your microphone. You will be allowed to proceed with your question, or if you prefer, you could type your question in the chat and we will share that question for you. Recognizing.
Siobhan Campbell, Nationwide News. The question first to Natalie Nita Garvey. You suggest that you collect roughly 450 million in terms of the total intake from properties. What and is there a collections issue? And then second to that question, to the Mayor of Kingston, in terms of your lack of support for a one road authority, can you go into a little bit more detail as to why you don't support that initiative?
You answer first.
Thank you. I did not say is that I support standardization and better coordination But I will tell you some of the issues that I have with the One Road Authority. I believe that if the One Road Authority, if there's a One Road Authority, it should be with the local authority. Let me tell you, you cannot bring an organization so remote from the people. We are the first contact with the people. Just bearing in mind that you have a One Road Authority, a centralized One Road Authority in Kingston of St. Elizabeth. How do they relate to take away roads from those persons? I will admit to you also that the local authorities has issues. But the issue, to solve the problem, is not to circumvent or to do away with the local authority. It's how we build the local authority, and that's what I mean.
Thank you. Perhaps only the minister at this time could tell you what the total collection of property taxes would be, because it varies from parish to parish and from municipal corporation to municipal corporation. What I am refuting today, however, is the 600 million to 700 million that he claims is being sent to often the municipal corporations, and to suggest that it is going to one corporation, because or to each corporation, and that today we have clearly outlined that this is for all corporations, and it does not add up to 600 million.
Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Kevin Black. I'm coming from CVM News. Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Yes, so my name is Kevin Black. I'm representing CVM News. Now, you mentioned earlier that this is to Mrs. Nita Garvey. You mentioned that you wanted the government to publish a full breakdown of every dollar allocated to municipal corporations. How soon do you want this to be done, and through which modality? And also to Mayor Swaby, residents in Lawrence Tavern in West Rural St. Andrew have mentioned that they only receive water once or twice per week. So if you could address this in regards to developments being made towards that, improving that.
Well, we are particularly interested in, one, how the equalization fund is being spent. We would like to know to which divisions and what projects are being undertaken, and what projects have been undertaken for the last couple of years. I think much in the same way the minister has been public in his pronouncements, in saying how 600 million, it's the same media by which I wish to have the information about the total of what is being spent, where is it being spent, how it is being spent. I would like the public to hear that as well. So I'd like it to be offered in much in the same way, so that all Jamaicans can hear.
Thank you. With respect to your question about water, the responsibility is with the National Water Commission, and the question is better placed to them. Any other questions? Any questions online? Okay, we'll take a second question.
Okay, this is a tangent question, actually. In relation to this call about transparency and accountability, there is the matter of the leaked PNP voice notes. Have the officers of the party identified the individuals in question, and have those individuals faced any level of punishment, disciplinary action, and would you condemn what was suggested on those voice notes by those members, who I believe one was a councillor who suggested that through the local authorities they would essentially obfuscate or try to delay any aspects of NARA that could be of a benefit to the same people who you suggest should get benefits today?
Okay, well, the leader of the opposition spoke on this on Sunday. I believe you would have been privy to what he shared. What our internal workings have been is not for the public discussion in terms of how we are speaking with those who are in those conversations. What I think is instructive is that a certain media house decided to publish select voice notes from a chat they had access to, a private chat, and refused to share the other positions that were more in keeping with our stated public position. But we've become accustomed to the media house in question being very deliberate and skewed in how they report. But our position has been stated by the leader of the opposition, and we will not be speaking further on that topic.
So you don't believe what was said deserves some level of condemnation, because Mr. Golding did address it, but he did not condemn what was said in those voice notes, only to suggest that it is not the official position of the People's National Party.
Well, Mr. Golding is not here today for you to ask him further about his position, and so...
Which is why I'm asking your position, as in,
Well,
would you
as-
condemn what was suggested in that voice note?
As I've said, the leader of the opposition has stated our position on that topic, and that's the extent to which we're going to be speaking about that. What we would like to speak about is NARA and the very fact that months after Hurricane Melissa, many families remain under tarpaulin, while billions of dollars have been left in accounts to languish. What the PNP has stated from the beginning is that we want a reconstruction entity. We want an agency that is accountable, transparent, and open, and that is fair, and that gets to the people who really need the support. We've said from the beginning, and we're consistent with that, that NARA, as designed, does not breathe confidence. However, it has been passed into law. And so we will have to continue to do our responsibility as the opposition to monitor them and to hope and pray, as the many Jamaicans across the island hope, that it will actually do good for the people who need the support. Any other questions?
Well, a follow-up to that statement then, based on what you've suggested here, would you then assure the people of Jamaica that no member of the People's National Party will get in the way of NARA doing that duty, considering what has been said in those leaked voice
Well,
notes?
the leader of the opposition was clear about the party's position on NARA. He actually named a representative to support us on the committee that manages NARA. Can't remember the name of it now. Jamrock, right. So it means, therefore, that we have a representative there who will share with the committee our position. The People's National Party has been at the forefront of getting relief to people in disaster. We have shown by our action, we have shown by our words and our public statements that we support any initiative that will get relief to families who need that relief. But of course, while protecting the interest of Jamaica and taxpayers' money. All right. That being so, thank you very much for joining us for this press conference. Please have a good day.